I hope I don't get too far back in here and starts to rain, because I'm a decent amount into the woods here. If I get wet, I get wet, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not lost, just don't know where I'm at. So today I'm here at Roosevelt State Park in Morton, Mississippi, which is about 20-30 minutes to the east of Jackson, Mississippi. And we're going to do a little solo camping, a little bit of hiking, and we're going to probably dodge the rain showers. So let's see what we can get into today. Now this campground recently got a lot of updates. You can see here the brand new paved road. They've done some stuff with the RV parking spots, level them out, new paving numbers, all that sort of thing. They put a lot of money into this park. I don't think they've done much, if anything, to the primitive area, which is fine. I don't need much. I know they took out a lot of trees in this area here, and this people were kind of complaining because it took away some of the shade and stuff. As you can see here, there's not a lot of shade, but they do have nice views of the lake. You can see right here, that's one of those new pads that they've poured. Done a lot of groundwork to get all that situated. You can see another one there they've done. Looking pretty good out here. And we cross this, I guess you'd say it's a dam, levee, whatever you want to call it. There's two RV sites. There's one behind us that we just came through, and there's one across the lake back over that way, if you can see. But at the end of this levee is the primitive tent camping area. It's kind of on a hill. It's kind of bumpy. They didn't do any improvements to this, but it is what it is. Lots of land out here. We'll see how much spot we got to play with, because they said there was a Boy Scout group that's going to be here kind of during the day doing some activities, but they won't be here all day from my understanding. So this is kind of a brief overlook of probably half the primitive area. It starts off on a hill up that way and flows down that way around the bend into the lake there. Now we just had a good rainstorm come through maybe about an hour or so ago, so everything here is soaking wet. There's another thunderstorm that's going to possibly come over top of us. It might skirt over the north of us, I'm not sure. But I got the tent set up. If you notice, I have the patio at an angle for the water runoff. I just got the basics out. I don't have my ice chest, food and stuff like that. I just got the basics out. So once the rain goes away, they say in probably about an hour or so it's going to come, the way the radar was looking. So after then, we'll probably unload the rest of it. But until then, let's go back here, take a look at some of these little hiking trails they got just outside of the primitive campground area. Everything out here is sloppy, muddy right now. It must got a pretty good rain. Good thing I got my hiking shoes on today that are somewhat water resistant. But yeah, this park got a lot of upgrades here a couple months ago, maybe not that far, but some of the upgrades was where they did some signage for the trails, as this trail goes that way, and I guess another one goes off that way, I believe, obviously. But we're just gonna go this way. I've been on this trail, it's been a while back. I was here probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 years ago. Stayed a full 3-day weekend, maybe even 4-day weekend out here. But so nothing much changed. Right now they have a little Boy Scout, Cub Scout gathering going on. I don't know if it's a instructional deal or what, but there's a bunch of young boys out there running around muck, going fishing and kayaking and things like that. So, you know, that sort of thing. So there's another T in the trail. That way it goes back to the campground. primitive area. We're gonna go up this way. It says Beaver Dam. So I think back in here actually is or was a beaver dam. So I'm gonna hike in here probably until the rain comes, and it's coming. I've heard thunder, so hopefully it'll get above north of us, because it's hot and humid right now. It's like 80 degrees, and probably with the humidity, it's mid high 90s. It's humid, but hopefully the rain will skirt over the top of us and miss us. So we'll see. But I'm gonna do a little hiking on this trail and see what we can get into. Now this trail is a lot better maintained than the trail that we were at last time at the Dry Creek Water Park. Now this is probably a more popular park. It's a state park, so gets a little bit more funding too, obviously. But I've been here before, like I said, and all the trails they're probably some of the best hiking trails. Let's just say second best hiking trails in the state at a state park. But you can tell they're well used and well taken care of. Okay, so this is not the trail that I thought it was. I guess there is two trails that come off the primitive camping, because besides getting bit up by deer flies out here, I'm coming up to a road, or there's actually a road beside me off to my left there. But I think this is going to loop back out to the beginning of the primitive camping. So we're going to find out one way or the other. And I hope I don't get too far back in here and it starts to rain, because I'm a decent amount into the woods here. If I get wet, I get wet. So we'll see how it goes. Looks like I come out to a power line here. Yep, so we're going to follow this power line, I guess. Pretty straight and narrow trail. It's like a dirt bike trail almost. But we're going to follow it, and hopefully it'll lead us back to the primitive campground. I looked on all trails, and this trail is not listed, so I'm kind of going in blind, I guess you say. But just from my general sense of direction, the primitive camping is back this way, so we are heading the right direction, hopefully. So this is kind of interesting and unexpected. There's some red tape and a four-way crossing. Don't know where that goes. That way leads me back into the woods more. I don't need to go that way. That way kind of crosses back through the woods I just came through. And this one should take us back towards the lake and campground. We're going to follow this way for just a little bit and see what it does. Looks like there is a sign down here. Maybe it'll give us a little bit of information, kind of figure out my bearings a little bit. But I'm not lost, just don't know where I'm at. So that's the way we just came. The sign says Beaver Dam, 1 mile. So we've hiked a mile. And it looks like the overflow of the main lake is right out here, which would put the primitive campground over here. And this looks like a road, or a makeshift road for like the power company or something like that to get down to, maybe a fire road, something like that. If I'm not mistaken, there is a small road that comes off the primitive campground, and this probably is it. So we just made one big loop, just a little bit over a mile maybe. But the thunder is coming, so I'm going to go make sure the campground, or my tent and all that, is secure and ready to go. So right over there is the trail we just went into. That was the Beaver Dam trail. I didn't know that trail was even there. This is the trail that I thought we were on. I know this trail is not very long at all. It might be 1/8 of a mile, 1/4 mile, something like that. It's not too far. It follows around the side of the lake. I think this is actually where a Beaver Dam was at, so we're going to take a look, go back in here real quick. Camp's all ready to go, so we're going to cross over the stream here and go down this trail. I forgot what this trail's called, but so you can see here, here's a T in the trail. Go back off that way, it takes you to where we went here a little bit ago. So Persimmon Point, 0.2 miles. Okay, we can do this one. I don't remember this one either. I think it was just kind of a not really an official trail, but it was a trail that people used to go fishing along the lake here. So we're gonna follow this trail. I think it's a new trail. Well, new to me, I guess you'd say. We'll follow it and see what we can see. So we're about to the end of this Persimmon Point trail. I like this trail a little bit better than the other one, even though it's a quarter of the distance. The deer flies were nowhere near as bad out here on this trail. I also like how it follows the lake, so it gives you a little bit more something to look at besides just woods or trees or something like that. But here is the end of the Persimmon Point trail. Now, that's the main trail we came in on, and that's the trail we came out of. This right here is not really a trail. Well, it is, but it's always been yeah, that was some good thunder. So, speaking of thunder, I looked at the radar. It looks like it's going to go below us, the majority of it, let's just say the bad stuff. So, that'll be nice, but we're still going to get a little bit of rain off of it. Nothing I can't handle. Just don't feel like camping in thunderstorms, which it wouldn't be the first time I've done it. It won't be the last time I've done it, but I was trying to avoid thunderstorms and went to this campground, or this state park. I was going to go on the other side of the state and dodge the storms that were coming that way. Well, I was going to go to the other side of the state, and there were storms coming that way. So I ended up coming to this park on the back side of the storms, hopefully dodging the storms. Well, there was one storm that we're looking at now that's going to be over us here in a little bit. It was kind of lingering. I didn't really catch it on the radar. So, yeah, it is what it is. Probably a better decision than the other campground, because I looked on the radar and they're catching you know what right now from it. So, but anyways, yeah, just up on top of that hill there, that is the other RV campsite. You can probably tell from the trees there's some more over that way too. So we're just gonna call this trail done, and I'm gonna turn around and head back to the campground once again, and I'm gonna get my chair out, get underneath my canopy for a little bit, grab a beverage, and wait for the rain, I guess. I'm just going to take the main trail back to camp. I don't need to take the side trail. I just take that main trail. So we'll see you back at camp. It went from Boy Scouts, parents all over the place, to just me and one other person out here in about 10 minutes. One of the moms come by and she told me that there was a bad storm coming this way. I told her it'd be okay. I appreciated her checking in on me. Told her it wasn't the first time I've camped in a thunderstorm, and it won't be the last time I've camped in a thunderstorm. So yeah, kind of give you a little overlook of the campground, of the primitive side. Now these platforms right here. So here about 4 or 5 years ago, there was a company called Tenter, T-E-N-T-R. And what they did is they had canvas tents and partnered with the state parks throughout the state and put them out here. You can see where they were at. They had like a bed and nightstands. It was pretty much fully furnished, I guess you'd say. And you could reserve them, and they were about $100 a night, I think it was, give or take. It may have been a little cheaper than that, I can't remember. Well, last year or year before last, they went bankrupt at the end of the year. So I guess the tents got taken down. I'm not sure how that went about. It's still thundering and lightning. So the tents got taken down. Some of the state parks kept the tents up and are renting them out, and some of them kept, I think some of them took all of them down. I'm not sure. It's kind of depending upon the park manager, but and there is some parks that have these up, and the state parks have tents that you can rent that are already put up. It's pretty much you just come as you are, bring your food and stuff, and it's kind of like a little inclusive type thing. But so throughout the state parks you'll see these. There's 1, 2, 3 or 4 of those platforms left out here, but kind of give you a quick overview of the pretty much tent camping area as it starts to sprinkle on us here. It's gonna be kind of a quiet night out here if I'm the only one out here. I'm gonna make the best of it, I guarantee that. So what I plan on doing is once this rain passes over, half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is, it's about 3 o'clock. So by the time it passes over, I could go back to my car, get the rest of my cooking gear, cook me a dinner, and then just kind of relax for the rest of the evening out here and enjoy myself. Probably won't get a fire going, obviously, because everything is soaking wet here. It would take a good amount of effort for me to get a fire going. Yeah, I probably could get one going, but it's not really worth it because I don't really need it. So anyways, excuse me. So what I'm gonna do is after dinner, relax. Tomorrow morning, get up, cook breakfast like usual. Got something interesting I'm gonna cook up. And then on the other side of the lake there is a handful more hiking trails back over in that area there. I forgot how many miles it is. I got a map in the car. I'm gonna look at it here in a little bit, but yeah, it's quite a bit. They all kind of intertwine, interlock, and you can make small loops, big loops, large loops, figure eights, whatever you want to do. So we're going to do that tomorrow, and then probably head home after that. So we're going to do some more hiking here later on in the video. Well, it looks like I might miss out on the rain altogether now. The way it looks, the bad storms are just south of us here, so they went to the south. That's great. Kind of look at the lake here. That's that little dam or levee that we drove over to get here. Walking out on this nice pier here. I think this is fairly new, maybe a couple years old. I don't remember being here last time I was here, but yeah, as you can tell, it's a pretty substantial lake. There's a campground over there. You can drive around, and there's another campground over there. And off in those woods there is where we were hiking at earlier. And here you can kind of see how the lake and the pier coincide with a primitive tent camping area. There's not a lot of level areas, I guess you'd say, in this campground. There's some spots here and there. Not very many fire rings, which I think you can pretty much have a fire wherever you want to. They don't say too much about it out here. There's only a couple picnic tables here and there, so kind of limited on, I guess you say, what you can do or where you can do it at with picnic tables. But you know, if you moved one, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't care. But anyways, let's take a look at this over here. Let me show you this here. Take a look at this burl. I think this is a burl on this tree. How substantial that is. That thing is huge and is getting bigger and bigger, it seems like, since the last time I was here. I guess that's a deformity, or where the tree was trying to rehab itself. I forgot how those form, but those are interesting. Sometimes I even amaze myself. So since I don't have a table per se at my campsite there, I don't have anything to put my stove on. I could put it on that tote, but then I'd be bending over, and I really don't want to be sitting on the ground because it's damp. So I come over here to one of these tent tables, or tent pads, whatever you can call it, and moved over one of these little benches, and now I have the perfect height to cook my Zatarain shrimp Alfredo, Got a little bit of Tony Chachere's on it. Got a little Walmart guava, strawberry guava water. That's pretty good stuff. And yeah, this ought to be pretty good. A little fire on it. Get a little bit more Creole kick. It'll be all right. Bet you old Bobby Flay's not eating his dinner in the middle of a lake. He's probably not eating it out of a plastic bowl either, though. Well, unlike my last camping trip's dinner, this dinner was definitely a success. I can't think of a better spot I've ever ate camping dinner at in the middle of a lake. Can't go wrong with that. Now we're gonna go back to the tent and relax for the rest of the evening. No campfire, so probably call it a day early since there's no campfire. But yeah, that was a pretty damn good dinner. Okay, so drastic change of plans, let's just say. It is a little bit after 8 o'clock. I gotta get to the house. Something's come up and I need to leave. So I'm packing up my tent and everything, getting everything loaded up in the car. Got about a 3.5 hour drive home. Put me home around midnight or so. Yeah. Hate to say it, but I'm gonna have to end the video short here. I was hoping to spend the night here, get up, get some good breakfast in me, finish up some hiking trails over there. But like I said, I have something I gotta attend to, and yeah, it is what it is. I'm sorry. Don't know what else to say. So let me get off this and continue unpacking, loading the car up. And I'll be back out to this campground here. Probably this fall, maybe. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm cutting the video here. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you next time.